I'm Foxxeel and welcome back to another video where we're going to be looking at one of the builds for Age of Wonders Planetfall, and this is going to be the Warp Tank. So Warp is going to be, it's the tank's ability to warp through space or teleport, and also a reference to Warhammer 40k and Warp, which is the tank's ability to disrupt the enemy by lowering their morale, breaking their will, making them go insane, and making them just terrified. So it's Syndicate Psynumbra. I just think that Psynumbra is a really good synergy for the Syndicate, and also with this tank, or with this video, sorry, I'm just going to be talking about the Wraith Tank itself. It's going to be much shorter than my other videos, where other videos I went through and I looked at all of the units, and then I kind of spoke about which unit should have which mod and why. This unit is just going to be looking at the tank, and the tank is going to be the tank as a unit, which you build, and also the hero, because I gave every hero the Warp Tank, so every hero has the advanced piloting, which allows them to get into a tank, and they have two different sets of mods. So I'll start off with the tank itself, just as the unit and why it's so important, and then I'll go into the hero. So the tank for the Syndicate we'll just go through its abilities. So firstly, it has Syntech Cannon, which is just a normal offensive cannon. It does a lot of damage just due to the fact that it's Psi, and it gets to psionic, and it gets to bypass all armor, which is quite powerful. I also have Syntech Blast, which is a cone ability, which does it's an AoE that hits anything in front of you for 1 hex range, I think, from memory. And then you have Activate Wraith Drive, which is an ability to teleport and to hit everything within 1 hex range of the area that you land or the area that you teleport to. And also its defense mode is to gain +2 shield and 25% evasion. Now, when I originally played the Wraith Tank, I was kind of confused about why you would give a tank the ability to teleport into the backlines. Now, it's really important that the most important upgrade to this unit is this first one up here. So this is your Advanced Dislocation Drive. So just to show you where this is in the tech tree, just so you have an idea, the Wraith Tank is here, which is your Syndicate Tier 5, and the most important upgrade for that tank is down here, which is Syndicate Tier 7, Advanced Dislocation Drive. Now, why this mod is so important for the tank? It's a mod that is unique to the Syndicate Wraith, so only this unit can have it. And also what it does is it extends the range of your teleportation, your Wraith Drive ability down here, by 2 hexes. It gives that ability itself, just the ability, a bonus 50% damage, and also the unit becomes 40% harder to hit for 1 turn after teleporting, and it gains +2 shield. So now, when you use this ability, you teleport to an area, you automatically get put in defense mode, and you AoE damage everything around you. Giving this an extra 2 range, because normally its range is 7, you have the same range as a sniper. So you can essentially get into the range of the backline, or at least get close enough to the backline. Now, why this is important is that when you're in defense mode, you get +2 shield and you're 25% harder to hit. Just having this mod by yourself, you already get another +2 shield, so that's +4 shield. You're 40% harder to hit, so the 25 plus the 40 is 65% harder to hit. And also it does a little bit of extra damage, and it gives you a little bit extra range. Now, this is powerful when you have 1 tank in your army, but when you have 1 tank in the army, which is the unit, and then you have every hero as a tank, all of a sudden 2 tanks teleporting the back lines is a lot more effective than 1, because you get really disruptive. You can really disrupt the enemy. And they have either the choice of they turn around and fight you, and if they turn around and fight you, the rest of your army gets to flank whoever turns around, or if they don't turn around and fight you, you're sitting in their back line dealing tons of damage and just killing them. If you're not killing them, you're CCing them by using these other abilities down here. Now, back to the unit again. So that's your first ability, that's the most important one. Your next most important mod, in my opinion, is your Syntech Drive Modulator. So this mod is unlocked after your Advanced Dislocation. So you have your most important mod here, it's number 7. Your next most important mod is number 9. This is really effective when you're playing the game, because you don't have to go down another tech tree to unlock it. You can get the Wraith straight away, and then just focus on unlocking these 2 next, and then make your way down to the other 2 tech trees. What this mod does is it gives you stagger immunity, which is really important because you need stagger immunity to use your powerful AoE abilities, which you need 3 action points for, so that's important. The next thing it does, it gives you 10 heal for every time you do an ability. So an ability is like an attack or another ability like that. So it gives you +10 health, you gain +15% damage for 3 turns, and this can also stack up to 3 times. So essentially, once you get into their backline, you're already doing a bit more damage, you're already healing, and you're already getting a stacking ability. And it also gives you another +2 shield. So like this has +11 shield. And as soon as it uses the teleport ability, or if you're in defense, you get +2, so you can get up to +13 shield. And because you're teleporting into the back lines, you don't really have to worry about melee units, because melee units ignore shield. However, if you're in the back, where you're only facing range units, and you have 65% evasion, and you have 13 shield, all of a sudden, you have a big problem, or the enemy has a big problem. The last upgrade I gave the tanks is called Pain Mirror. So whenever this unit is damaged within 4 hexes, so once you're teleporting into them, they're automatically going to be within 4 hexes. And if they're not within 4 hexes, it's someone who has to turn around, which is, again, you're going to start flanking them. What this does is, whatever unit hits you within a 4 hex range, it does 8 damage back to the attacker. It's important to say that there is no strength chance, so if you are hit, you're guaranteed to do 8 damage. Now, generally when I fight, because I have +13 shield or +11 shield, I maybe take 5 damage max. I might take 3 to 5 damage, so they'll end up receiving more damage than I end up getting. Or they'll kill themselves faster than I die, basically. And it gives you another +2 shield, which is how this number's gotten so high. Now, you can use any other mod you want. Generally, I would use 2 defensive mods and 1 offensive mod, or 2 offensive mods and 1 defensive mod. The reason I made the tank full defensive is that I just wanted it to live. The fact that this tank is alive and it's near their weak units, it's already doing its job. So I didn't feel the need to put any extra damage on it, but you can feel free to swap this mod out. The most important mods are these 2. And the 3rd mod you can be a little bit more flexible with, but I chose to make it defensive for that reason. Now, the way I played the Syndicate is I would make sure that every stack has at least 2 Wraiths. So 1 being the army unit, and 1 being the hero. Now, the reason why this is so important is that if you can teleport 2 units into their backline, you're more than doubly effective. Now, the heroes, because they have all of their abilities, I kind of made them a little bit less defensive. So I have the same 2 core mods, which is your Dislocation for your extra teleport, and your Drive Modulator for your heal, your bonus damage, and a little bit of shield. The other 2 mods I put on the tank, or the hero Wraith, I should say, is offensive mods. Now, you have the Forbidden Mantra, which is your Syndicate mod, your Psynumbra mod. So Psynumbra all the way down here is this ability right here. The Forbidden Mantra, which is in the same tech slot as Pain Mirror, which is, if you want to put another defensive mod on your hero, you can put the same thing as you put on your units of your tanks. Pain Mirror is there. Hello? And Forbidden Mantra is here. What Forbidden Mantra does is it gives you 30% damage, which is good. And it also gives you an 8 strength chance to do catatonic. Now, to non-mindless units, catatonic is essentially like a stun, like it kind of like they become brain dead in a way. Like, catatonic means that they can't use any abilities, but it only catatonic. Yeah, so this unit can't use any abilities. Now, the reason why I chose this mod is 1 for the damage, but 2, catatonic applies to every ability every time you do damage. So it applies for the normal attack, it applies for your AoE attack, it applies for your teleport, and it applies to your cone. So because I'm trying to jump into their backline, this is the true warp tank, which is when you start being able to do, you start doing more damage and having the chance to kind of make them catatonic, which is make them kind of immobilized. I could put the catatonic on the normal unit. I just purely made it super defensive because I didn't want them to die. It would be better, or if you do want to have a bit more offensive, I would swap Pain Mirror for catatonic, for the offensive mod, which is the Forbidden Mantra, but it's still just as effective. It just depends how you want to play your play style. The final upgrade I gave my heroes was Aether Storm. So Aether Storm is a tier 4 mod. Aether Storm is the last upgrade for your what's it called? Psionic? It's your last Psi tier research. So Aether Storm is another teleporting ability that has a much shorter range. It only has a range of 5, but where is it? But it does more damage. Now the other thing Aether Storm does is it hits everything within a 2 hex range. So a lot of abilities you have in the game will hit where you teleport and 1 hex range, like this range here. But 2 hex range is, if I was to teleport to this point here, I'd hit everything in this circle, which is within 2 hexes. So it does a little bit more damage. It hits a lot more units. And again, because I already have, sorry, I should click on the right here. Because you already have Forbidden Mantra, even if it if it does do catatonic, then you're doing amazing because you've done damage and you've kind of taken them out for the next turn. But even if it doesn't do catatonic, it's still hitting a lot of units in the back line, and they have the same decision to make again, is that they either turn around and fight you or they die. So they die or they die, either way. Again, with this mod, it also, once you teleport into the back line, you enter defensive mode. So defensive mode again, you get your +2 shield and your bonus evasion. It's not the same as getting your plus 40% evasion as the advanced dislocation, but because you should be using your advanced dislocation first, turn 1 get into range, so you can use advanced warp drive, teleport 9 range into their back line. Now you can't get staggered because you have this mod here. Turn 2, you want to be using your Aether Storm because it lets you hit a lot of units, so teleport to wherever you think is good, or you could use Psytech Blast. Both of them are fine. If you're in a good position to use Psytech Blast, by all means use it. If you're not in a good position to use Psytech Blast, then use Aether Storm again and try and teleport again to the back line, or teleport wherever is most effective. And then if they're still alive, then you're welcome to use, Psytech Blast if they're in front of you. If there's not, you want to have a lot of single target damage, then go for Psytech Cannon. Now again, well, one other difference with Aether Storm is that Aether Storm itself has the ability to aid strength chance to apply Insanity. Now insane units, they end up running in a random direction and they can't do anything for 1 turn. If Insanity doesn't apply, then they get Broken Mind. The Broken Mind reduces accuracy, lowers their morale. And so you can get bonus damage for doing attacking targets with Broken Mind if you have the right doctrine with the Syndicate Psynumbra build. But so you either get Insanity or Broken Mind, which is 2 amazing things. And because you've got this mod up here, if you put your mouse over Aether Storm, you have Sadism, which is 25% bonus damage to low morale. That's the doctrine I was talking about. It's Psi attack, so it ignores armor. Insanity, and it has the chance to do catatonic. So this is the unit that's going to jump into the back line. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to be really hard to kill because both teleporting abilities put you automatically in defense, which gives you that bonus shield, gives you a bit of evasion. And by the time you get to the third turn, so first turn is you move somewhere, second turn is here, advanced dislocation, so you teleport again, use these 2. Their armies either they have significant losses, they have a lot of crowd control, so they're either their mind's broken, they're either catatonic, or they're either insane. And that's just with these 2 units. And the other thing is that there's nothing stopping you from having 3 Wraiths in one army or 4 Wraiths in one army. Or there's nothing stopping you from having a defensive setup for your Wraith and an offensive setup for your army units. Or having, like, even if you want a glass cannon, you can just go full offense. Though I would recommend that you always keep Psytech Modulator for the anti-stagger, or for the stagger immunity, and my voice, and advanced dislocation, and just kind of modify defensive or offensive, and then with the hero you have an extra slot so you can kind of be a bit more flexible. That's the Wraith Tank for the Syndicate Psynumbra. So this playthrough here, I did beat Extreme AI. I ended up conquering every single person, which is why it took 100 turns. I had to move the army around, and I did build quite a lot of Wraiths. If you are interested to see a little bit more about this build and what I've done with the other units, please let me know. I'm going to be doing a playthrough for this build soon, so keep your eyes open for that. That's about it. Foxxeel out. I'll catch you in the next one.